All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about. We talked about our WWE SmackDown review. We also talked about our WWE Raw preview. A lot of good stuff happening in WWE. Can't wait to watch it. And of course, we have our, segment 3. We're going to talk about Impact Wrestling's Rebellion. So, Impact Wrestling Rebellion, I read online that it did, in terms of numbers, really, really good. It was held in Las Vegas. Wrestling fans are all over the globe. It's kind of cool that they're able to kind of go to a place like the Palms and go ahead and tear down the house, so to speak. But yeah, let's talk about it. We have our 6-man tag team. We had Leon Slater and ABC defeating the Rascals. We also had our TNA Digital Media Championship match. The Laredo Kid dethroned Crazy Steve, which I kind of saw that kind of coming. Like, I don't want to say Crazy Steve was like a bridge champion to like someone to kind of hold that like digital media television championship better, but I don't, not about that life. Not dogging on any wrestlers because I feel like if I met Crazy Steve, he would probably kick my ass. But just, anyways, so we have our TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championship. Spitfire, absolutely love Spitfire. Watched a couple of their matches on YouTube. Defeated Decay. You had Masha Slamovich and also Alicia Edwards come out, basically staking their claim as the next challengers for the impact for the Total Knockouts Women's World Tag Team Champions. Next, you have the TNA X Division match where you have Mustafa Ali defeating Jake Something. Jake Something, he put up a valiant effort. I saw it on X. I want to keep saying Twitter. Why did Elon Musk change Twitter to? No, I'm just kidding. That's we're not. This is not that type of podcast, guys. But you know, so I don't know. I think Mustafa Ali is a great champion. I miss him in WWE. Very, very good talent. So pretty cool to see. Next, which was actually pretty cool. You kind of saw Sean Merriman come out and kind of do his thing, which is honestly definitely something that TNA should do more of. I feel like they should incorporate maybe stars, quite a bit, of more, of late. And Sean Merriman, obviously, he's well known in the NFL community, kind of, being that guy. But he was spotted in, and I think that's cool. And I think, this is kind of what WWE did, with in terms of kind of cross referencing pop culture with the world of wrestling, with the world of sports entertainment, and just just superstars, just the superstars themselves. Look at some of the WWE divas who found success on Total Divas and stuff like that, and how that kind of contributed to the women's revolution, where they were seen on TV. And people came out to see them. People came out to see Natalia. People came out to see Nikki Bella. People came out to see Naomi and stuff like that. And the list goes on and on. All these girls got great recognition through the ETV show. Ultimately, kind of, divvying into what is the women's revolution that I believe is still, it happened, but it's still kind of happening, so to speak. But yeah. Some things that I kind of want to talk about in terms of TNA, maybe some possible reasons why they kind of went down, and yeah, part of it was how the departure of Dixie Carter. Dixie Carter, her father is the founder of Panda Energy, which was essentially their main partner, and was able to facilitate and also provide financial stability for the company. And obviously her dad Robert Carter was super help. She had the majority share in TNA from Panda Energy, making her the majority owner. um, and a lot of people said it kind of went downhill. It kind of went downhill when Hulk Hogan came in and Eric Bischoff came in and kind of put more emphasis toward older talent as opposed to younger talent. Like you see on the screen, you saw AJ Styles, you see Robert Roode, Bobby Roode, and you see Austin Aries all kind of took a back seat to when Hogan came. And you saw Ric Flair came, Sting, love Sting, absolutely, but a little seasoned. You kind of had, Jeff Jarrett, Christian Cage, all these kind of older guys, and not enough emphasis in what your younger guys are planning to do or what you plan to do with these guys as superstars to begin with. Why would you want to waste talent like this? And I feel like that's kind of one of the reasons why Dixie Carter kind of thought to herself and kind of took a step away from the company eventually. So putting an emphasis on older talent. Honestly, some of the main recipes for failures in terms of the wrestling organizations include financial challenges, mismanagement, creative struggles, and just talent retention issues. They weren't able to get these guys. Like you saw Rude, Aries, Styles, they all went to WWE. They did stuff in NXT and then you had Bobby Lashley come from WWE to TNA. Then you saw him come back, and I don't know, it just wasn't good. Also, we had Smashing Pumpkins frontman Billy Corgan acquired a minor stake in TNA, which in a lawsuit where he tried suing TNA, they ultimately kind of gave him the majority stake in the Panda Energy, which was owned by Dixie Carter, ultimately kind of making him the head honcho kind of thing. And it was just kind of a mess, man. It was absolutely a mess. August 12th, he became president, and obviously you see TNA what it is now and what it was back in like 2006 to like 2013. It was a great product. I really liked watching TNA. It was great. It was something different. Thursday night TNA Impact on Spike TV. They had the weird ring. I think it was a hexagon, and it was just something that wrestling fans needed. Something that obviously in terms of WWE, when you have the majority viewership, when you're the only successful wrestling organization or product happening at the moment, you're gonna get. It's not. Oh God, how do I explain this without kind of? It's like eating the same candy bar. It's like eating the same candy bar for the longest time. It's same, like, I love Twix. Twix is really good. Like, it's the same crunch, it's the same caramel, it's the same chocolate, it's the same cookie inside, and it's cool. I love it. Whenever I eat it, I'm like, "Oh, cool, Twix, like, this is awesome." But then sometimes it can get a little tiring, especially when Twix continues to be, like what Vince McMahon made the WWE, is just very repetitive, very boring, a lot less, like, a lot less wrestling and more about promos, crazy promos. Promos are good. Promos are good. But like crazy promos like Bobby, like Rusev's wife, Lana, flirting with Bobby Lashley and having a fight. And it's just like some storylines that kind of go through the WWE that kind of make you like, oh, like, why is, like, I know why they're doing it for entertainment purposes, but honestly, I don't want to watch this. Like, this is crap. This is crap wrestling. And you just don't want to take advantage of the fact that, hey, I'm the only wrestling show out there people are forced to watch because they'll find something like a TNA. They'll find something like a Ring of Honor. And the reason why AEW had so much success was because, they found wrestling. They found AEW because it was different. It was different. People like things that are different. That's just human nature. Human nature is like people usually the psychological being is like usually you want things that you're not used to having or getting kind of thing. So like the moment you see something like that, like AEW, their product and the way they have their matches and the way their superstars are different. It's not PG, by the way, PG-13. You see, people cussing. You see people throwing through tables. You see blood. You see girls kissing each other. You just see like just things that you will not see on the WWE screen, which is kind of what made kind of AEW a little more like kind of like thrash. They had the kind of that WCW Monday Night Nitro, and still to this day they kind of still have that, like that's still like, oh, welcome to Wednesday Night Dynamite, everybody, here live, and it's cool, like something that AEW did better that WWE never really got was their kind of like their interaction with the fans, like where they kind of would have the fans, where the wrestlers would go out there eh, and come in through the entrance with the fans or kind of interact with the fans more like on a personal level, kind of like what you saw on WWE Monday Night Raw, kind of like where you saw Sami Zayn coming through the front building and Jey Uso being like, oh, and I go in there, people, what's happening? The moment I saw that, I absolutely thought WCW. I thought WCW. I was like, wow, like that's something you would see on WCW. I used to watch Monday Night Nitro. I used to watch Thursday Night Stampede. I remember that. It was super, super, super cool. But, obviously good things, come to an end. And, definitely miss WCW at its finest. And anyways, moving on to covering Rebellion. You have Rick Swan defeating Joe Hendry, Frankie Kazarian defeating Eric Young, Mike Santana defeating Steve Macklin. Nick Macklin's comeback, everybody was so hyped up about, and he did pretty good, did very good. Next, we have Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers defeating the Speedball Mountain. You have Josh Alexander defeating Hammerstone, TNA Knockouts champion Jordan Grace. Retain her championship despite outside interference with Stephanie Launder. Next, we had our TNA World Championship match, Moose against all odds against Nick Nemeth. I really thought Nick was going to get, I know him as Dolph Ziggler, but Nick Nemeth, I feel like he was actually going to win. I kind of wanted him to win. The moment I got the notification through Bleacher Report, and I was like, love Moose. Love Moose. In any kind of combat sport, MMA, martial arts, wrestling, whatever, you have to respect the opponent. Definitely. That's like something like day one. Like, you go to any taekwondo class, you go to any jujitsu, it's the number one thing, respect your opponent. Next, the final thing we kind of capped it off is we have the Broken Matt Hardy is back in TNA Impact Wrestling, which is pretty cool. I think he belongs there. It was I was in shudders thinking that he would make a return to WWE, not because I feel like he would ruin the product. It's just I feel like he'll definitely be an absolute dynamo in another organization. Now you have him in Impact, and now you have that partnership with AEW where he can jump ship to AEW and kind of just be the broken Matt Hardy, which is pretty cool. I know there was speculation thinking that he would join Bo Dallas's Uncle Howdy tribe, his little stable. So obviously that's kind of put to bed. Obviously, like I spoke about it on a couple of, I think it was last. It was last podcast where Booker T said that he wants Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy to come back to the WWE because this is where they belong. And I kind of thought about it and I was like, yeah, but you have so many young talents right now. Everybody loves the nostalgia factor. That was kind of Vince's thing. Paul Levesque's thing, I feel like he kind of wants to bring young superstars up, kind of like what happened during the Attitude Era and stuff like that. So, great for Matt Hardy, the broken Matt Hardy. Love his character. Love everything about him. All right. Well, next we're going to talk about over the weekend. A handful of WWE superstars were released, and we're just going to go over that and see, kind of take an inside analysis of it. So hey, don't quit.